Bringing on to Open Talk today. Looks like I got a gold tooth, doesn't it? Oh yeah. See what happens later. Hey, Nikki, what's the benefits of being here? Because I made it.
Hiya. So like me personally, so like I like doing all this. So like I come to this group because I know like you're there, for example. So like you got how do you put it? So a wealth of experience, and so like I feel that everybody so we can all contribute to like our life experiences and like pass that knowledge on to help others.
Yeah, because you're pretty good at passing on the knowledge. When you listen to somebody when they come in the group, you are like a solution person, and you'll go, "Have you tried this? Have you tried that?" And that's what I like about you. This is my feedback about you. That's what I like about you when you attend. You know, you don't really say much.
Sorry, go on.
That's all right. You don't say much personally as if there's any problems and faults, because I know how far you've come from that. But maintaining it, you're not actually giving us any negativity with it. You're coming with positive each week. Each week is positive. You haven't come with, "Oh my God, I'm in a dilemma. There's an issue here. How do you help me with that?" You've never done that yet, because I know how far you've come in 2 years. 2 years.
Yeah.
And you know, coming to Open Talk's not something that you're accustomed to, because each week, you didn't do the technology. Now you're doing this. So I'm going to stop it there because we've got other people coming in now. All right. And we can carry on talking in a bit.
Go through that. There's somebody that's, first of all, not a doctor. You know, some little young girl, she was 23 years old, and I thought I was being really nice to her because I thought she really didn't know what she was doing. For her to go away, and the letter that they sent me of her assessment of our interaction was shocking.
Yeah.
Yeah, my one was a phone call though, but I had my support worker with me to back me up as well.
Good.
I had my support worker to back me up as well, so.
Right.
And it's like,
but I'm saying I was shocked that, you know, I never had a problem before. And this time I had a problem because my evidence is medical based. You can take x-rays and look at them and see that I have degenerated knees and a bad shoulder, and you know what I mean? So it's
I sent all my evidence off as well,
Exactly. If you've got your evidence, you shouldn't have to go through any type of anxiety attached to an assessment. Do you know what I mean? It shouldn't be. When I was working in mental health, when I had to sit down and talk to somebody, I didn't make them more stressed about their mental health. You know, when you're assessing somebody and trying to find out what they need, you're not supposed to make them feel more stressed out. You're supposed to have a calming spirit to be able to sit down and really get to the heart of what their problem is. If you keep stressing them out, you're going to see that label.
It's
what Carrie's talking about. It's that label. That's what you're going to see when you're stressing people out. But when you can approach people, you know, in a different manner and be able to get behind the label, that's when you can help people.
Well, I told them everything. Like, there's days where I can really starve myself sometimes, and then there's days that I just eat once a day, and do you know what I mean? And there's other days where, I mean, it all depends on the day I'm feeling at the time.
Yeah.
And I stress that out. I stress that out quite a lot. Do you know what I mean?
Can we be mindful of not promoting methods on here as well? All right, let's just be mindful of when we're all interacting with each other. Other of us have got problems, right? Most of us have problems, and we use that coping strategy in specific ways. But when we hear little tips how to do it, then you plant that seed for somebody else. And no. It's just I think we all need to be aware of what we actually do to each other. How we are planting seeds into each other's heads. And when we're on our down days, then we can take
what I'm saying is that I stressed out the things that to the person that how bad I can get and how good I am as well.
Right. Ellie, you're very young as well. So I appreciate that you're so open, because when I was young like you, I didn't talk to anybody.
Do you think that, and that, so my point is that at the end of the day, when we are doing forms, we are doing assessments, I think a lot of people come really mentally ill around the time they've got to do
Yeah,
the
it's
assessment,
stressful.
because they're just having to, well, I've got to prove myself, I've got to prove myself. And we have to go through great lengths of proving ourselves, although we've already proved ourselves, because the applications, our forms say it. Going to a mental health, going
But
to
that's
mental
why
health.
you shouldn't have to prove it, Carrie. You shouldn't have to prove it. You should be able to go into an assessment, them review your medical form. This is what we're protesting against. You shouldn't have to go into an assessment and prove something that's already written down in paper. You shouldn't have to go to that stage. An assessment should be, where are you and where can we help you from here? That's what an assessment should be. It shouldn't be that you have to continuously prove. That's just like what we talked about, Nikki, with the NA and the AA. Oh, I'm an addict. Oh, I'm an alcoholic. So an assessment, oh, I agree with you, but we shouldn't have to. This is what we need to start a campaign, Carrie. This will give you something to do.
I think they've already. I think they already did that, and I think they got to the point where they're saying those with long.
Well, we can't give up.
Can I say, you see the assessments, it's not based on your diagnosis, it's based on how it affects you. So you could be diagnosed with the same thing and nothing, and you can function. So the reason why they have those assessments is to see how it affects you. You know, because
your day-to-day life, isn't it?
It's not, you can have PIP without even having a diagnosis. It's about how it affects you. Because for my
daily living.
So you can have PIP without an assessment.
No diagnosis. They got a high rate years ago, when it was DLA for children. They didn't need no diagnosis. They were significantly delayed. So I've dealt with it. So because I've got 3 kids on the spectrum, and then I've got my own PIP as well. And then I've been looking after loads of people over the years, getting their PIPs and all that for them. So they don't base it on your diagnosis, because what does that mean? A diagnosis can mean anything. It's based on your function. How does it affect you? How do you, I know someone who's been in a wheelchair, can't walk, but they've been turned down, you know? So it's when it comes to those things, you know, it's based on how it affects you. So don't get too caught up on what the diagnosis is. It's basically just, and I literally, everybody I do the PIP form for, I always get them their PIP.
Well done.
Wow.
So really,
Well done.
very good at it. And it's not based on, you could have, say, all right, bipolar then, since I've got that diagnosis, but you might be able to function better than some other people.
Yeah.
So it's not, don't get caught up on the diagnosis. It's also because there's loads of people that will go in there and say this is wrong with them, and you know what I mean?
It's the proven
fact. Abuse the system, don't they?
You have
to. For me, they came to my house when I got my PIP. They came to my house because obviously I can't come out the house, and I was at the refuge at the time, and they came to my house. But for PIP, it's sort of scored on your ability, how you can function. You know what I mean? That's the reason they do it that way, because you could have arthritis and you could run, and someone could have arthritis and can't even move. So
but they're saying on your disability, so therefore at the end of the day, that's what they're going on, a disability. So, you know, how does it function? Your daily life affects you, you know? Do you need help? Do you need prompting? Do you need on medication?
You don't need to get PIP.
Well,
I find that a little bit unbelievable, Sheba. Really?
I'm only going by, I know to qualify, you have to qualify.
Have some sort of diagnosis.
Without any diagnosis, I said that they got the symptoms and they're getting assessed for it, but they got it. Both of them had a high rate.
I think it's changed now, because they want the medical verification of what you're.
They do. To be honest, we did a meeting with a person, and we were in that meeting for about an hour. So you had support one side and support the other side for the person that was going through that assessment, which took about an hour on the phone. And from that hour on the phone, it was discovered, they turn around and use words like this: oh my God, all that medication, it's enough to kill a horse. But yet they came back with the fact, what we recognized is that we were given the support on the mental health side of it, but when they did their assessment and it was all over, they granted the person their PIP, but they gave them a low rate. But it wasn't recognised that they were being supported by mental health. They completely left it out. So we've gone back in to appeal against the decision that they've made because they were wrong. How can you not see that they had mental health support? Both ends. You set up the conversation through the mental health support, and you totally didn't write us in as if we were helping or supporting that person. So that's where we were able to go back in and say, no, the woman was lovely. Andy was there, weren't you, Andy? The woman was lovely. We did spend a lot of time on the questions, but we let them speak about their disability and how it helps and affects them. But the problem is, even though that assessment is done, are the people taking the assessment taking in what you're saying? Because I don't believe they took in what we were saying, what the person said in its entirety. Hence now we've got to go back for the emotional state, more paperwork, more writing off, to everything is paperwork, isn't it? To prove something. Everything is paperwork to prove something. But I asked earlier, Karima, do you think when it comes to the doing actual forms and assessment when they're about to come round again, is it frightening your anxiety? Are you beginning to
definitely,
and then you become ill just until that's there? I think psychologically we're trying to prove a point. Look, and so people say, don't take me on my best day, take me on my worst day.
Yes,
you're supposed to do. Because
what I got told.
Yeah, it is. But I think where do you go when you're so young? You know, how many more years of this mental health are you going to that's going to take over your life, where you're going to have that constant support? I don't want you to become your label. That's what I'm about. You know, we're here, we're talking, and I think at the end of the day, we have emotional discomfort through things. Yes, we've taken it out on ourselves, and I think we do still take things out on ourselves, but it can't be like this for years on end, because where you're in your 20s, etc., we're now in our 50s, etc. We'd like to say
in my 30s.
All right, whatever. We'd like to take 20 years off of that.
I'll take 20 years off any day.
Do you class 35 as young?
Yeah.
My youngest daughter is 35. My youngest daughter is 35 next week.
Oh,
I turned 35 on the 1st of November.
Okay.
Wow.
I have to try and remember that.
All of you could be my daughters.
Next week?
Not me.
Or Kerry?
Oh, not you. I talk about the 35-year-old woman.
Sorry, one at a time.
35
I can't.
My partner says 35 isn't young. I've got 5 children. Yeah, I don't like that statement, because I'm 35, and I would not. I'm a younger person than you, but then you could say you're 50. That makes someone 35 young. Like in my, I don't find that as young. But I've never.
When I was 35, I didn't think I was young either.
So she, but
I've got 5 kids, man.
You started young.
As well, dear enough.
If you think 35 is young, then, or not young, what do you think 50 is then, Sheba?
Well,
what's in 60 years?
My partner's 56. Right? And everyone I've been with I've never been with my own age group. So
well, to be fair, Sheba, man's mentality is usually about 10 years back that way anyway. I'm just saying.
But, all right, as a younger person then.
Yes.
It can also offend people when you keep saying the person is young, because it takes away their experiences. So on the other side. No, not me.
So. Okay.
Let's listen.
All my life.
I get that.
My family treat me like that. I mean, I know more than majority people at my age, because the life we live, right? I don't like to hear that, because it kind of takes away from my experiences then. Because if you're saying just, oh, you're young, it means it's almost like saying what you know. I'm not saying you're saying that, but somebody could see it that way. Because for me, it'll get my back up and say, all right then. So in a different situation, I'll be like, all right, cool. Life experiences is who makes you
for a lot.
Because I could have in their 30s. How could I? How can a 35-year-old relate to me? a man can relate to me, 5 kids and all that. And I've never even slept with someone nowhere near my age group. They've been 20, I think the youngest person I've slept with is at least 18, 19 years older than me. Never hanged around. Ellie is my school friend. I know her all my life. So that's why I'm saying that. And it's not been easy for her neither. So I wouldn't say she's a young, I don't like it. I find it a bit, you know, that's all. Because I'm good with it. Sometimes it might come, you know, because when we got things going on and then it's like, oh, you're young. It's like, it's almost, can be almost like undermining then.
Patronising.
Undermining sometimes.
Patronizing,
I can't tell you about life. My granny, I live life. People 60 can't tell me about life. 70, 80 can't tell me about life. I deal with my family all the time. They still treat me like a child to this day. They treat me like a little kid. I've got 5 sons that are really 7 foot taller than 2 of my sons.
Yeah.
You know, they got their wife each, got their girlfriend, and
maybe that's why it feels so offensive, because your family treats you like a kid. But I mean, what I would do to be able to turn the clock back and be 35 again, man, listen.
Enjoy it.
Age is nothing but a number. Because you can have people that don't know nothing. Trust me, enough of them. 60, 70, nothing.
Yeah. They call me a youngin' too, you know, Sheba.
Loads of people in their 50s ain't got no sense.
Yep.
So yeah, I just think I'm not saying it didn't affect me, by the way. I can deal with anything. Nothing can really. It'd be very hard for someone to offend me the way I am. You'd have to shoot me or something, or trouble my child. But it can, when you've been through a lot in your life and you've always been treated and put down, or you know, when you're going for support and all that, and then it's almost like you're being, you know, your age is another thing. It's the same like sexism. The same with age. The same with you treating an older person or you're old. The same thing, because 20 is young, 30 is young, all right, if you're looking at. But what is young? What does that mean? Because you could be 50. Like, what does it mean? It's experience, man. People need to stop looking at age and treat people for who they are, what they've been, what they know, what value they.
Well,
I agree with that.
Sheba, how you think I feel like when I'm applying for jobs and they have this thing called ageism? Do you know that when you become a certain age, all of a sudden you're not qualified, no matter how much experience you got?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's 2 for 6, half a dozen the other. You know what I mean? On the back end of the foot. You know, but it can be offensive all the way across the board. You know what I mean? I get you.
The discrimination, isn't
Only
it?
I said it because when I met you, the same thing was said to me. You're young, and then Ellie's the same age as me. It's like you're young. So what does that mean then? I don't understand. It don't bother me because it can't bother me. But when it comes to that, but I'm mindful because once upon a time it would bother me in a sense.
Right.
Yeah.
About it, like, no matter what I go through, people still seeing you, like, you know what I mean? And listen, what I've done in my life, no one don't tell me about I'm young.
And wants to ask a question, and so do I. Can we put our hands up if we want to interfere?
Sorry.
I can't see everybody. I'm sorry. I'm on my phone. I can't see everybody. I'm sorry.
Swipe the screen to the left or right, Sharon, and you should get the whole panel up, just about.
I can't see everybody.
Okay.
Sadia's mic's off. Rana's mic's off.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Hi. Go ahead, Andy.
Well, I did something similar to this a couple of weeks ago. I just want to do this, right?
The label.
Was it ages number label? Yeah.
Another label. Tear them up.
It is another label. I think for myself, when I keep hitting this 50 mark, which is a big thing, isn't it? In a sense, you say nothing but lumber. It is a big thing for me. When I keep seeing the grey hairs coming through and all of these things now, I feel so young in myself, but the age is creeping up. So it tells me that time isn't on my side, okay? But I can only make do with the time I'm here, the here and now. But this 50 benchmark, I'm quite proud actually, in a sense. Yeah, I'm 50, but I don't feel 50 and I don't look 50. Well, in my imagination, I don't anyway. So, you know, but at the same time, in reality, hold on, Adrian, I'll get to you in a sec. The reality side of it is very difficult to see that life is passing by, especially in the eyes of your own children now. Life seems to pass by when the children are older and the grandchildren are coming and everything's different. Even their parent is different to yours, and you can't do this, you can't do that. And I just think everything's different now. Go ahead, Intelligence.
Yeah, just to sort of reiterate what you said about the age of 50, for argument's sake, I personally am not that far behind you at 46 and a few weeks before I turn 47. I don't feel my age. I certainly don't look my age, but subconsciously, it does bother me, but I think for different reasons from what I'm hearing the rest of the group say. My thing is more on a professional level, where I've looked at my counterparts in the working environment, and you know, I've often come up against, pardon me, people in their 30s who have appeared or appear to have reached the pinnacle of whatever it is they're trying to achieve at that tender age of 30. And for me, I feel like, wow, I'm almost 50 and I haven't yet got there, if that makes sense. So, you know, looking at the age of 50, well then, as Sharon just said a moment ago, if you go for a job and they see that you're 40 plus, you're kind of put on the back burner. Oh, no, they're too old, you know? So that's where I look at the age. If you take away everything else, personally, it doesn't bother me, but in that sort of working environment, yes, it does bother me in that respect.
And it bothers me too, thank you for that. Bothers me too when, well, before lockdown, you guys were going nightclubbing. Now I find I'm too old for that.
Oh, you do.
No. I think it depends in what area you're at, for starters, because if you go to London, it's a more mature state. But when you're down here, it's like 20s, you know, they're all 20-year-olds. Do you want to hang out with your kids? Because that's what it's like. So therefore, it changes everything. And the fun part is just not there no more. So you have to go to the more mature side. And it is, I miss out on those party nights. I miss out on all of those things now.
Anything, man.
Yeah, but you can go out. You can go out.
You, Gary,
and say, go home.
Gary. You're gonna come to Manchester. Big people party over this week.
Yeah,
people party. I want to party up this week.
I'm coming. I'm up the road.
Yeah. Okay. Does anybody else want to say how they feel about getting older or staying younger?
I remember when I was turning 50, a lot of people, because I'm like you, Shiva, always been with, my partner's always like 15 years, a lot older than me. When I turned 50, so many people were shocked. They were like, you're only 50? Ain't you been, can you? You know? Because I had changed friends, you know, so I weren't in that group no more. So I had this big 50th birthday party, and people was like, you're just turning 50? I thought you were. So,
yeah, Karima, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. All right. As I was saying, like 35 yet. I had one child, right? But like, obviously she passed away because of things like that. And I feel like now at 35, I'm on a biological, you know, I'm at that age where I'm on a biological ticking time bomb when I think I need to have children soon. Because I do want children, but not just yet. But it's coming to that age where I'm on that biological, you know what I mean?
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
I mean, so like, until. Oh, sorry.
So I'm so sorry to hear about your loss there. I'm not going to dismiss that. You know,
sorry.
I'll talk about that at another stage if you ever want to talk about that. but your clock ticking. I get that concept, because I think us women, we were on that benchmark. Yeah, I see your hand. I'll click to you in 1 second. I see that women that are on that benchmark for having children, and you think it has to run out at 30s, and it doesn't. Some people are still having children in their 40s. Yes, it does lead to more
health problems.
Sometimes.
Child.
Does it? I mean, again, you know,
Not all the time.
Sometimes, not all the time.
Yeah. I mean, I think, is it a stigma? Is it? Are you slowing down? I know people that have babies at 50. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
we look at that. Oh, can we go clubbing it with them when they're when we're 50 and they're in?
I know you sound like it's your birthday coming and you need a party. That's what that sounds like.
Yeah, keep dropping hints.
So I do understand, and then it comes to, can we get everything right? We're going to find the right partner, etc. And
yeah,
you know, I know there are a lot of people out there that don't worry with a partner; they just want the baby. Is that what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that will just go get artificial inseminated as well nowadays. So now we're crossing another topic, aren't we? So I'm not going to go into this topic, but that's something I'd like to discuss
Adoption,
because there is that stigma on that time scale, and whether or not you can do it on your own or be a single parent, and all of those things that come with it. You know, that's a big heavy discussion, one of which we could actually just sit and have that discussion one day. Okay, so I acknowledge what you may have gone through. I haven't gone through what you've gone through, but I do acknowledge your emotion on that topic that you have to discuss, honey. I really do, and I'm sorry for your loss, and I'm glad you're still here, and I'm sure that's played a big part of, you know, ill health as well, and depression. So rebuilding, that's where you're at, isn't it? Rebuilding. Yeah. Sorry, I think Intelligence, you had your hand up.
Yeah. Just briefly to address what is it Kramer? Apologies if I pronounced it wrong. My partner had our first, my ex-partner had our first child at the age of 35 with relative ease, and I myself was 30. When I had my second child, I was actually 41, and even for me, you know, obviously I am not carrying the load, if I can use that phrase, but the element in my own mind of slowing down and thinking, oh, I don't want to be seen as grandpa, you know, going to pick up the child at nursery school and so on and so forth, you know, did play a massive part on my mind. But as I say, the time flashes past. My first son is now fast approaching 18, you know, 6 foot plus tall, and relatively gets on with his own thing, whatever that is, and sort of the point I'm trying to make is, before you know it, where I am here now, it's like the ties are being cut slowly. He's at college and he's starting to do his own thing, and it frees up that sort of space for yourself to carry on doing whatever it is you feel like you want to do with your life, you know. So I think that the whole essence of you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that has been placed upon us by society. Yes, if you have underlying health issues and so on and so forth, that will play a part for you as an individual. But I think, you know, in the general concept, as Kerry rightly pointed out, you know, there are ladies having children. You know, there was a story, you can Google it. I'm not sure of the person's name, but it was a lady recently, 70 plus, managed to have a child which was artificially inseminated. So basically her daughter couldn't conceive, so she had her grandson or son for her daughter, and it's successful. If you type in, you know, sort of late pregnancies, or you'll be able to find that on the internet somewhere, because it was at least within the last 5 years. So
wow. Shell?
Yeah. Sorry guys, I am a bit quiet today. I've got a lot going on in my personal life. It's bullshit. Don't listen to anybody about biological clocks and things. I was 39 when I had Freya. I keep up with her. I have got quite a bit of illnesses going on physically and mentally. But she's a sweetheart. She keeps me going. Nikki will tell you, Sadie will tell you, Kerry will tell you, Adrian will tell you. You know, she's actually amazing kid. You know, so don't biological clock. You know, don't worry about your biological clock because she is just, she's crazy. You know, I mean, Andy's.
Yeah, it's lovely.
I just want to point in, thank you, Sharon. I just want to I want to put a positive spin on this. I think at the end of the day, man thinks they can control everything, but the universe tells you and has already mapped your life out anyway. Okay,
Yeah.
You know, and so things will happen if they're meant to happen. They are meant to happen. I think women are naturally nesters anyway, with or without a man. We actually go into that nesting mode. And a man will say, no, I don't want it. But we're already in that nesting mode. And I think at the end of the day, nothing will stop a woman. If she wants one, she will have one. And nothing will ever stop a woman from doing naturally what she's meant to do. Okay? Some people can't have children. I do know people at the end of the day, it actually really bitters them when they can't have children. My sister could not have any children. Okay? I also offered up myself as an incubator and not interested. How do I feel when those around me can't have children and you have? Then there's that stigma there, because that really bothers you. It bothers you because you think you want to talk about your kids, you want to talk about the experience, but they shut you down with the miserable stuff. So therefore you don't, you kind of, people should be happy for other people, no matter what, because I believe at the end of the day, life is a gift. We are already gifted out here on this earth to turn around and have a purpose. So even though we bring these little sprogs into the world, they're not ours. They're not ours. Because as much as we want to tell them what to do, we only have a time limit to get that right as well. So the biological clock are waiting for children, and when the kids are here, we're still on a time limit with those children, even when they are here. Because actually you can't even be a mother or father nowadays without society telling you how to raise them, what you can cannot do anymore.
Well, I just want to say also on a positive note, I have 3 girlfriends that are in their 60s now that never had no kids, and they are having the best life. They're traveling, they go where they want to go. They're the best aunties and godmothers, and they are happy. You know, I mean, one of my girlfriends just got married the other day. She married the man of her dreams. She don't have no kids. His kids are grown, and they are having their best life. So I'm still got my fingers crossed that it's going to happen for me too.
And the thing is as well, you know, we have to look at that. Most nowadays we meet people that've already got kids. Okay?
Wow, that's so. I'm too old.
All we can do is install education, not try to be a part of telling someone what to do all the world, but be a good role model. That's all we ask for anyone, really. Be a good model. Look at yourselves that you're in here. Yes, you are younger than myself. So therefore, what are we doing? As an adult, we're trying to be a good role model. I'm not saying you're not an adult. I'm just saying we're trying to set the example no matter where we are in life. We all have
no matter what age.
We all have to come together here, don't we? No matter what, to raise this village. Go ahead, Jen.
At the end of the day, right, my eldest son and his girlfriend, she can't have children, full stop. It's just not on the agenda. But they're not too worried at the moment. You know, she's 25, he's nearly 30, but it's not going to happen. They know it's not going to happen. So they'll look at other options as and when.
Yeah, they said that about, I won't go into a family, which family member it was, but they were told that they couldn't have kids because of blah, blah, blah. Well, to my delight, now I will say what it is, to my delight, I have a grandchild now. This was on
Yeah.
the basis of you won't have children. I now have a grandchild. Because when I was told that you won't
Yeah.
have children, I was like, okay, at least I'm not going to have any baby mama drama. And when this baby came along, it was a miracle, really.
Yeah.
So I don't believe anybody has the right to say you can't have. I think willingness and getting your mind right, not thinking about it and getting on with your life can just bring miracles, full stop. I think
Yeah, but when they haven't got the body parts to do that,
she don't have the body part.
Yeah, I get that. There are alternatives, aren't there, throughout
Yeah.
life, and without discussing everybody on an individual basis, I think hope, that's all we've got.
But yeah, there are miracles, you know.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen, you know.
Yeah, life goes on.
But then one of my sons is gay, so at the end of the day, he's like, "Well,
Cool.
fuck kids, I'm going to live my best life, and I'm going to go out drinking, and I'm going to go out and live my life." You know, which is what he's doing.
So that's another angle, isn't it? We talk about that again. That's where they say, yeah, but you're not going to carry on my family name because you now are with you now are gay or whatever else. And so there's the stigma again. Family heritage,
but even
family name.
Even
There's
that
adoption,
situation,
isn't there?
even in that situation, you have gay men that are taking their seed, meeting someone, and still you have gay men that are raising kids.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's so many options today.
Can I say on that fertility topic? Sorry to cut you guys, yeah?
Yeah.
Because of the business I do and the stuff I do, I get, you know, nutrition is something that that I have customers who can't have children, who've had children now.
Yeah.
I have customers who have issues, and because of our products, they're having children. So nutrition is a big factor of a lot of the ailments that we're having, and a lot of the reasons why these things happen. You know, and in particular, she was told she can't have kids, and she'd be happy to tell anyone, you know, because what we do, when we share something, we share with the person's permission. And I've been a whole testimonial on my page, and she was 40, and she was told she can't have kids. Then she started to use, you know my stuff already, and now she's had her first baby. You know,
brilliant.
Quite a few customers or people who's had fertility issues due to using some of the adapting a healthier lifestyle, increasing your omega, stuff like that. You know, these are the things that sometimes we take for granted is our health, and it's through nutrition. A lot of it is eating things and stuff, because that's the thing. Sometimes when we have mental health issues, or we've got health issues or whatever, stress and everything, we don't always take time to have the right diet and the right health, eat the right thing. We need to feed our brains, because our brain is the biggest organ in the big organ in the body. You feed that. So we say with fertility, I'm not saying that I've got some miracle tablet that can give baby and stuff, but I do know, just by the people I know and the lifestyle changes, that with fertility, I know a couple of people. One lady was 40, she couldn't have crowds, everything. She tried the products and now she's had a child. So don't give up and have faith. I know, Ellie, you believe in God. So you know, just hold the faith, you know, and whatever, he knows what he's got planned for you. Right?
Exactly.
Hold the faith, you know, everything we have is a journey, and everything the Father gives us here is a lesson or a blessing. So not everyone's life is the same, and everyone's journey is different. Sometimes we need a lot more of that motivation in here, the empowerment, because anything's possible. You know, eat better and try. You know what I mean? Eat better. I'm not saying you got fertility issues or anything, but nutrition, putting in the right, feeding your brain, feeding your body, feeding your temple. You know, that can eliminate a lot of ailments that we're all moaning about or complaining about. Not us here, but everyone.
Period.
I think you know. Thank you.
I do. I'm going to promote eating right, you know, and your health is through nutrition. A lot of
it
the time.
all connects. It all connects, doesn't it, Shiva? Everything connects.
Do you know that 90-something% of diseases is due to nutrition deficiency?
Yeah.
Because you're not taking in the right nutrition. And I talk about this 24/7, so that's why I just add that bit in, because a lot of the time it is the right nutrition, and that can help solve a lot of issues just through what you're putting in your body. Eliminating things like Coke, soda, sugar, and things like that will help make you have a healthy mind, body, and spirit.
And relax the mind, and relax the mind. Stop homing in on it. If you want it, fine, but you've got to relax the mind. I think when that's the big key element, isn't it?
Starts with nutrition.
Yeah.
We'll start with nutrition, because if you're eating chips every day, Coke every day, and all those kinds of things, and expecting that your mind's going to feel better, it's not going to happen. You're waiting for something. We have to be proactive in our recovery and proactive in getting things better for ourselves as well.
All right.
And the thing is by changing our lifestyles, which means how we eat and what we put in our bodies. Because you remember, everything that the Father put on this earth for us has got properties in it. It's all got medicine properties in it. So sometimes, sorry, I'm going into something else now, but yeah, nutrition, and it can help with fertility.
Okay, can we, Nikki, last one on that one, move on from another topic? Go ahead. Oh, should we mute with her? Because they're parrot. Hold on. I'm mute. Because their parrot was parroting.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, so like just so like whilst that the Sheba was talking, so like was it so like you or Andy so like who text so like was it something like so to make the change, be the change?
Yeah, that's right. Make the change, be the change. Like that one.
Yeah.
On that.
Yeah, I was somewhere in this group. Someone posted that, and I thought, oh. Yeah. So little things do go in. They're in there somewhere, but they just pop up random times. But so I liked that one, and so like I suppose that could apply so like to so like your diet as well as so like your mind, and so just the ways that like you so like live generally.
I'm gonna pose one question, and this is a target. If we know our mental health isn't right, and we know, and we're striving to get it stable and stuff like that, how do you think that, and this is something that nobody ever asked me or recognized, that when I had a child, I was still not developed in my head because of all this stuff and the trauma that I'd gone through. So I ended up putting that on my own children. Does that make sense? Like they ended up witnessing a lot of things that they shouldn't have witnessed, and because it wasn't that I wasn't right, it's just that my circumstances and the person that I was with wasn't doing my mental health any good, and then it inflicted on my children slightly as well. So I think we have to have that self-esteem correctly, and then want to know, why are we having the children? Why are we having it? Is it something because we just want? Was it something because I want to be loved? Because the kids is the ones that need loving, you know? So we have to ask 101 questions before we go into this. But most of us, we just fall into this and we just get on with it anyway. But is there support around you? Can you do it on your own? You know, is there going to be any arguments between the other person? Because there's always two here. It takes two to make one. You know, is there going to be anybody else there to support you, to make sure you pick the right mate? That's what I'm saying, the right mate. You know, somebody who's going to support you through it and not use the kids as a weapon, because I hate that. I hate that when children are used as a weapon. So and I think that's the key element of today, is when we do, and we are gifted with human life, we're to treasure it and nurture it, because before you know it, we end up like adults like us with mental health problems, and that's because of the baggage of our past, and that's the arguments between parents, and using the terminology parent alienation. Those things play a big part on what kids' mental health is to this day. Does that make sense? That's where you've got no crime and everything else, haven't you? You've got kids like, oh, I don't know what to do with them, they won't listen to me. And again, you know, the society does play a big part on your children. So for me, I'm very concerned about the next generation in this technology world after what I watched this year, this week. I'm concerned about all of us, to be honest, of the things that I've been watching. Social dilemma that actually brought home to what we're doing to ourselves with technology. You know, we can't raise children on technology, and that's what's happening here. We're actually raising our own self-esteem on technology, unless you come into a group like this and you're having a conversation. But once you leave this, what are you doing every single day? Okay, what are you doing? How many times a day do you check your phone? That's a question for each and every one of you.
But technology is the way of the future. you will never live in the past again.
No.
Because every generation drags it on to the next generation. So the world is always changing. You know, the kids will never have what we had, but we will never have what our parents had.
Yeah.
And so on and so forth. I mean, Freya uses an iPad at school.
Yeah.
The tablet in nursery. Dean never used that.
No.
No. And so on and so forth. But Dean uses computers. Sorry, my son uses computers at work all day long. And it's just about the world. The world is always changing. It's an evolution.
It is. It may be the way of the world, but the dangers to this is we're not thinking for ourselves anymore. Everything is at your fingertips. If Google has the answer, that means there's some wonderful man that has the answer, or person has the answer to everything and every problem at your fingertips. I'll see your hand. I'll get to you 1 second. Everything is at your fingertips. If you have not watched Social Dilemma, I do ask you to watch Social Dilemma. And the reason why I'm going to ask you to watch Social Dilemma is because you're already in the midst of this. And then the dangers of it is that we're not thinking for ourselves anymore. We're just not doing it. We're not coming together anymore. We're relying on technology to figure out problems or to just give you the answer. So we're not working. And this is where we're becoming robotic. And this is where the depression is coming in, social isolation, social exclusion. This is where the drama is coming in. If you haven't watched it, I do. My son was the one that said, Mum, I need you to watch this. Why is that? Because you're always on your phone. Yeah, but I'm working. Yeah, but Mum, watch this. And I watched it. And everybody knows. They know they control your Facebook too. They control your social media, and you are a puppet on the string, and they're making money off of you. Okay? They're doing it deliberately. When you get a notification, that's they're prompting you. Okay? They're doing it on purpose, prompting you. You then go straight to your phone. Oh, notification. Oh, okay. And people are getting disappointed by their phones. The technology, the responses, or the notifications. People are trying their best to promote their businesses. I get that concept of it. But people are also getting disappointed by social media. But that is one thing I do ask you to watch, is Social Dilemma, only because it is the awareness of really what you're doing with technology.
That's self-discipline.
I've watched that.
Yeah. What did you think about it?
I think you're dead on right. Yeah, dead on right. What's happening?
But that's self-discipline. At the end of the day, that's entirely up to you if you pick up that advice.
Sorry?
Yeah, I said it. Yeah, it's all about self-discipline as well. But like, it depends on each person on how they control themselves as well. So there's also a thing where it says "do not disturb" on your phone as well. So it's like at certain times.
But your curiosity when you get a notification.
Yeah.
You say it's self-discipline, but okay, you can do that. If you're not working, you can just you want it for fun, for leisure, or whatever else, then you can do that. So, but if you think, I mean, where I'm having to always check my phone to see if anybody's commented, if I'm actually monitoring so many people on there and their posts, etc. So I'm always checking, and there's times I just think I can't bothered. I want to switch it off because I feel like I've been consumed with Facebook, consumed with awareness, and I think it's just too much. So for the last 2 days, I haven't really bothered with it, and it's been quite nice.
Kerry, but it's the same with everything, isn't it? Everything is balanced, isn't it? And no matter what you are, who you are, or whatever situation you're in, it's having the right mindset. And I think some of the time, I mean, even before I had an online business, I would never use the internet for I was always a person that likes to self-educate. That's just me. I like to know what's going on and know the details, and I just like education. I just like learning. But with the children and the internet and stuff, I mean, we don't watch TV. I've never watched TV. I just don't deal with worldly things too much. But my children are on the internet. But my son's 15 and he started up his own little business and stuff, and got his own clothing line out and stuff. So we have to take responsibility as parents as well and educate our children and teach them. You see what the devil put for wicked, God put it for good, right? And we have to educate our children. We can't be, the world and worldly things and the society can get in the way with parenting sometimes. But if we educate them and teach them, we're living in a society where it's all going to be online. You know, those days of meeting, I reckon that it's going to be a long time before we're all gathering and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But we educate our children on the benefits of the internet. This is the way the world is, and this is how it's going to be. We can sit there moaning and say this, that, and the other, but we have to take responsibility and train up our children and teach them the good, what you can do good.
These people on that, so doing that social dilemma, they do, and they're the ones that done the tech. They do not have the kids on it because they know it's overtaken it. So, you know, you say teach. I think this is where it's going wrong. I think this is where it's going wrong. Who has a home phone and who gets called on their home phone nowadays? Nobody. Hardly anybody.
Because you can't afford a home phone. That's why.
It comes with the internet if you've got one.
Phone. What they want to charge you for a home phone, can't even afford one now.
All right, so for 2 years I didn't know I had a home phone. This is really silly, isn't it? But this is the truth. I had my internet and I wanted the internet so I could use the Wi-Fi with my mobile phone, yeah? That's why I wanted it, and maybe to watch whatever I wanted to watch. But the second time is I actually realised that I've got a home phone. Nobody rings the home phone. Everybody does texting nowadays. Everybody does a voice message nowadays. There's hardly any interaction.
It's the future, Carrie. You sound like you're stuck. It's the future. It's the future.
Right, but we can't just go along with it, can we? That's what's causing us mental health.
Every time there is a global shift in the world, things change. After a war, things change. After pandemic, things change. You sound like you sound like you're older than me. You sound stuck. Listen, you stay in your lane. This is the young people's world. You're on your way out. This is the way that they communicate. They are quite happy. Okay, they are quite happy with how their life is going. They are born with this computer mind. So it's all about, you know what I mean? But like Sheba said, you give it to your children in doses. Yeah, you set the parameters. I feel sorry for parents that have to set the parameters for where they want their children to be and what they allow. My grandkids all have a little tablet, but they all have parental restrictions. You know what I mean? What they can watch, what they can't watch, what becomes a topic. You understand? But that's how I raised the moms. So that's why they will implement that. You know what I mean? It's about, this is a way of the future. We can stay and protest, and hundreds of thousands of people can go down to London and all in America and all over. But it's changing. It's the way that it was. It's not going to be again. Point blank.
I'm glad I'm going to be around later on because I think people are turning out to be zombies. You know?
I don't think they're going to be zombies. Are you kidding me?
They're unsociable.
Why are they unsociable? Just because they're not socializing the way that you want?
One at a time.
You know what, Shaz? I agree with you. Because you look at my son. We've been through hell. Them kids have been through hell. And because he saw me do something positive with the internet, my son's got his own clothing line up all by himself, no help from me. He just keeps look, I've got my own t-shirts. That's because he sees me doing positive things on the internet.
Yep.
Comes down to parenting.
Yep.
Everything comes down to that. We need to take responsibility as parents.
Yeah.
Yep. And if you weren't taught, and if you weren't taught, like Sheba said, if you weren't taught, you break the chains and you start something new, a new legacy for your family.
All right.
It's not about what our parents done anymore. When you become big people, you have to start taking responsibility. And if you don't like where things are going, look, me and my daughters argued, the same one that's 35. She didn't like about some things that I did when she was coming up. I said, you know what? If you didn't like the way that I did it, you're 35, you got your own kids, you change what you didn't like.
Yes.
You make your own way forward. Don't be stuck. You can't be stuck. You can't be stuck. You can't be stuck. You got to stop, think. Like this morning, I woke up, stuck. Work. My pain, my frustration is not always for me, you know. I deal with so many people. Sometimes God puts a burden on my heart. It's not always for me. I've learned to accept that. But I also know that if God's put this burden on my heart, then I need to take time. That means that he wants me to stand in the gap for somebody else. So if it means being quiet, having a bit of prayer time, whatever, reaching out, talking to somebody, then that's what I do. But you have to realize that when you become a grown up, you have to stop blaming the people behind you. You got to make the changes that you want to see.
Starts with you.
It has to start with us. No matter what age you're at. I mean, what age was I woke up and realized that? I mean, you had me say that you're younger, but I'm impressed. 35, 5 kids, your own business. What I would have been, if I could go back 20 years, I probably would be where you are now because of what I know and how I messed up. Taking stuff for granted because of my age.
Hold on.
You know what I mean? Thinking I was young and, oh, this, I've got plenty of time and, you know, this and that. And now I am almost 60. I'm not saying I'm not accomplished. I'm not saying I'm not accomplished, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean? At 35, to be already in a mindset that you're already accomplished is brilliant.
It's because, for me, I come from...
Give me a minute, Steve, please. Because you've got hands up here as well. Sorry. And
I can't see everybody. I'm sorry.
It's fine. Nikki, go ahead, because Nikki's been waiting, and then you can carry on. I think she's got to go.
Her mic is off again.
Yeah, hold on.
Hello?
You've got to go?
There you go.
Yeah, so I've got to go, but some like really good points on there that'll give me something to sort of think about while walking sort of to school. So sort of thank you sort of for all them. And so take care, and I'll catch up with you sort of soon.
Yep. Thank you. Bye.
All right. Be safe.
Yeah. And yeah, can we be mindful? Hands up if you do want to elaborate, please. Because I'm watching. I can see hands, but I don't like this.
Before Sheba gets back into it, Smarty Penguin. Smarty Penguin. Never heard of Smarty Penguin? No, nor die until Farrah was 2. But I'll tell you what, it's fucking amazing. Sorry, excuse my language. He's amazing. He protects all children from the age of 2. I mean, Freya even used him last night and told her 27-year-old brother about Smarty Penguin. He teaches all the kids about internet safety, and they use it. If they don't know nothing, they bring out Smarty Penguin, and he tells the adults with the kids about something that's unsafe online that they don't understand, something that comes up, somebody that pops up on the thing or on a game that they're using, or, you know, it's amazing. Look it up. I tell you, every adult should look up Smarty Penguin.
Smarty Penguin, can you see that? Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is taught from a very young age.
Back to school on life safety. That's Smarty Penguin. Impact of lockdown on learning. Back to school and online safety. You know, learn more. Okay. So this is for children then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it looks at it through children's eyes. Freya knew about Smarty Penguin when she started nursery.
All right. So people, the viewers, if you're looking at that, please do go and do your research in that a little bit more. Yeah. Great. I'm going to stop the recording because I think you've done a lot of awareness today. I mean, brilliant. But I want to actually